So continuing on in Lamed Chesam and Aleph, Tani Idach. Kol Tivrachu es Bnei Yisrael. Again, we have the same pasuk. We're learning all these dinim out of. Ainli Ela Bnei Yisrael, because it says Kol Tivrachu es Bnei Yisrael. So according to this point in the Gemara, that only Bnei Yisrael are included in the bracha. Gerim Noshim VaAvodim Mishu Chachrim. Now, this word here, Mishu Chararim, is generally taken out of the girsa because an eved mishucharim is a ger in general. So what the hell is an eved mishucharim? So it would be an eved like a nashim. So in the brachas at the in the morning brachas, you say shalosani isha, shalosani goy, shalosani eved. So the goy would become a ger, but it's a proper Jew. You have the nashim. You have the avodim, but the meshucharim isn't really. But these are the generally the not bnei Israel, and then bringing everyone in. Nine, how do you know? Tamar Lamar Amor Lahem, the Kulahu. So Amor Lahem in the pasuk seemingly is going on. Aaron and his sons say to the Kohanim, bless the people. But now we're saying that have a look at the pasuk here. Deber el Aaron ve'el benav lemor, kol tivrachu es bnei Yisrael, amor lahem. So it continues to v'rechecho Hashem v'yishmerecho. So amor lahem really is say to them. So this is what the Kohanim say to the bnei Yisrael. So kol tivrachu es bnei Yisrael. So Amor Lahem, so we could have just gone straight into Yivarechecho. And if the pasuk it says Amor Lahem, which are really extra words for drasha. So Amor Lahem, Lahem is to Nashim and Avodim and not just the Bnei Israel. Now the Bach here in the Yerushalmi still speaks about a city that everyone's Kohanim. So Ikla made we're going to see the cases are kind of spread out over the next half or so. So it says that you have a city that's full of Kohanim. Who do they bless? They bless the people in the field. So we see this on the next half. And who says Amen? It's the women in the back. It says that in the Yerushalmi. So here the Bach is saying, why doesn't it say who are the Kohanim blessing? To the Noshim. Why does it say that they're blessing the people in the field? Yishloimar demairi that they're all the women are also Banos Kohanim. So therefore, they're already the Kohanim themselves are not blessed from a Kodesh Baruch Hu. So the Kohen is not blessing his wife. So he'll be blessing. So seemingly here that other women he could bless. Aval brachas Kohanim eina ela lebnei Yisrael. So here he's saying now here that the brachas Kohanim is only for the bnei Yisrael, as it says called tivrachu es bnei Yisrael, and then he kind of drops and doesn't bring in our drasha at all. For odd nira, to feel intim silomer danashim hein benos Yisrael. So ikar bracha eina ela leYisrael has zacharim. So he says only for the males kedechtiv bnei Yisrael. Ele ta'af and the kavas b'chal brachos ele k'she'en shem ele nashim b'nos Yisrael lo hayu chayvim b'nesis kefayim. So it seems to be so again. He's just like dropping our whole drasha here and saying that it says b'nei Yisrael. Let me see why, because again our reboy is Amor Lahem doesn't use that at all. So it says so bless b'nei Yisrael and not b'nos Yisrael. So even if the females are included in the bracha, but if they are not there, if there's only women there, but not Yisrael, you're not chayiv in the sis kefayim. So the only people so the Bach is saying the only people who are there, the women, that there's no chayiv to bless them. So he says clearly that Ve'onir defilim tislim and nashim hem benos Yisrael. Iker habrocha in ila Yisrael hazacharim. However, women are included when there is a bracha, but they're not the Iker. And the Magen Avraham brings down the Bach, Lacherim Shebesados. They're the ones that are getting the bracha. They don't see the bracha for the women in the Taf. Kotiv Chos Ben Yisrael Benos Yisrael. Right, that's the Bach with Sota. Now here the Magen Avraham brings Sota. He said, "Ein liela b'nei Yisrael, gerim nesham v'avarim menayin tamalam amar lehem l'chulahu, v'amar the davka shish zacharim as mivachrim ima." So here really the Magen Avraham is explaining the Bach here that when there's women, when there's men there, the women get included in the bracha.
And seemingly the same for Gerim and Avadim. So if you have a congregation where it's only Gerim, for instance.
Yeah, because they're not, so we're not Gerim because Gerim are not Bnei Yisrael.
Right, okay.
That's the drasha, yeah. So, but you have to see what he says. The Magen Avraham says, Im came, but Gerim nami name a haki. Yeah? Don't know why you were jumping in there. It's as if you didn't actually prepare this.
Just prompting it.
The im ein be'ir ela kahanim v'gerim lo yalu kahanim. So it says the kahanim shouldn't go up because who are they blessing? They're blessing the gerim, and the gerim aren't included. So he's saying that's for sure ela heterim menayin lechein nearly. But he's saying that this is for sure not true. He's not bringing necessarily a raya that's not true, but he's just saying that for sure the gerim are going to be included. But yeah, this is what's coming out of the Bach. They're saying they're not including the bracha themselves. Like Rashi says by the pre-bitna. So here the Magen Avraham is focusing on the pre-beten of the woman is blessed by the man or from the man. So women really here are getting a bad. And again, he didn't really include the
Gerim.
How he's going to explain the pasuk. It's just that by themselves they're not yet. The ikar of the bracha is Bnei Yisrael, and therefore when you don't have them, they're up by themselves. But they're included through the Isha is mitbarechet.
So, but sorry, just to make sure I'm understanding the Magen Avraham at that point. So he's differentiating the women from Gerim and Avadim, for instance, because their womb is sort of, like
they get a special thing.
They're connected to the man.
But really, like, so what? Either the drasha is the drasha or the drasha isn't a drasha. I mean, we have the drasha in Sota, and either they're included all together as one, or they're not. And again, his whole thing of Gerim that you shouldn't bless the Gerim. Yeah, Taka, that's what comes out of the Bach. Why not? Just says it's Enonira. But if the pasuk Davka says the Bnei Yisrael, not Bnei Yisrael. Lacherim shebesados ataz v'lo amru lenashim v'taf. So our whole thing of the women, if we didn't have this Gemara in Sota, it's just that who is the people that's being blessed? It's the people in the field. Why didn't we say the women? Now I would just say because there's no women in there's no women in Shul, obviously. But the Yerushalmi says that who says Amen, the women on the Taf will say Amen. So seemingly it is a case where the women are there. So Achar so Kamosha Kasav Achar Kach leaning on Amen, that the women say Amen. Right, Yivarechecha, and all the brachas of Kohanim is saying it in Beloshen Zachar. The Loshen Nekeve he Eleich Bechiruk Tachas Yud. So he's saying that we have a diuk, the whole Birkus Kahuna is for the males, Yivarechecha, and that's why it's not for the women. The taf ein a shaykh lebracha for them. The agati lo chazi lekach, and because they're still not old enough to get the bracha. The ma yichol bracha lehim. What can it? Ela ad al ha'atid. A bracha hu me'achshav. So only once they become bar mitzvah, that's where they're going to get the bracha on it. But now it's from now. So if you have, for example, a baby in utero, if you want a bracha for it, you have the bracha on the mother. So the bracha on the mother will be chal now. So here, the first part of the Taz is just saying that the whole lashon of Birchus Kohanim is Yivarechecha on the male, therefore it's not for the women. Now, when the blessing of girls, anyone hear of girls? The blessing of the girls on Friday nights is Yivarechecha. And seemingly, that's Lashon Zachar, and you shouldn't say it to your girls. According to everyone so far, anyway, you don't do Birchus Kohanim for women alone.
Right. If it was just as okay.
V'od nira de be'isha amrina be'brachos ein ha'isha mitbrachos ela mipri bitno. Now this is a v'od. So seemingly the first half of the Taz is just saying women are not in the bracha of Birchus Kohanim. It's because it's a male language. Yivarechecho. V'od nira. So the woman, it says in brachos, the isha is bracha through the fruit of her belly of the man. And again, this is something to do with the koishel bracha, that whether you send it to the wife or not of the koishel bracha. V'kein hataf nikram achar avosehem. So that when the male gets the blessing, then she gets blessed through the male. Ve'im kein ha'isa bracha kan lekohanim atzmam. So bracha said v'hatayra, so that the bracha is here for the kohanim themselves. And the Torah says, "V'samot shemei el bnei Yisrael, aval hakohanim misbarachim mipi HaKadosh Baruch Hu." Says, I will bless them. But Aniyas Amen, him shaychim shapir. So the bracha is not for the women, but they can answer Amen. So it seems here, based on the Bach, side the Bach, the Magen Avraham, and the Taz, that the Birchus Kohanim is not for the women. However, if the Birchus Kohanim is already there for everybody else, so then the women get blessed. Now, it could be that the woman, see that the Bach seems to be saying, or the Magen Avraham is saying that the women get blessed with everybody else. Here, I think that the Taz is more leaning into that the woman gets blessed through her husband. That the first half of the Taz is saying that the woman is not included because it's Yivarechecha. And then she's saying that she gets her bracha through her husband. So firstly, what does she do if she's not married? Doesn't seem to be an option here in the Taz. It's just not for you. Sorry. When you get married, you get a bracha. And secondly, if she goes to shul and her husband is bemazed not going to shul, so not included in the bracha, then seemingly she doesn't get the bracha. But according to the Bach, she would get the bracha because
she'd be covered because there are other men present.
There's other men there, so she gets the bracha with them. But seemingly the pashas of what the Taz is actually saying here, that she just doesn't get the bracha. Again, you can argue those points; they're not necessarily mukhrach. So again, another tani ida kol tivruchu. So panim keneged panim. So it's face to face. That's omer panim keneged panim. Reino ela panim keneged oref. Now Rashi here has a funky pshat here. She'enet tzibur tzrich. So what would panim keneged oref? I would say that the kohanim go up, face the ark, and the tzibur is looking at the oref, the back of the neck of the kohen. That's how I would understand it. Rashi says she'enet tzibur tzrichin lehasev paneihem netzad kohanim. The Kohanim are facing the Tzibur. But the Kohanim can face the backs of the backs of the Tzibur, which is kind of a funky way. Now, most people will learn how I was saying the Oref. However, so where's Rashi getting off this craziness for? It's because what is called Tivruchu? When you are blessing, who's giving the bracha? The Kohanim are giving the bracha. Whenever you're giving a bracha, you face whoever you're giving the bracha to. It would be ridiculous that the Kohanim are blessing the Aaron or something. If they're blessing the people, for sure they have to face the people. But where's this panim keneged panim? Who's facing who? So Rashi says, the tzibur, obviously the Kohanim obviously are facing the tzibur. But here the pasuk is saying that the tzibur also has to face the Kohanim. So panim or ela keneged or amor lahem. So again, this amor lahem. So amor lahem again is how the Kohanim will speak to the Tzibur. Ka'adam ha'oimer lechaveru. So the Amor lahem that the Kohanim will say to them. So how do you say to them? It's panim keneged panim, like you normally speak to somebody, and that's how you do it. But again, here the Amor lahem really is going on in the Kohen. You're telling the Kohen to look at them. If it's Amor lahem, how is that telling the Tzibur to turn and face the Kohanim? Because that's Amor lahem is going on the Kohanim have to speak to them. Now, from here, there is this idea of panim keneged panim. It's brought down. I just couldn't find a nice succinct source. I think the Rokeach says it in. I saw it in Minhagim books, like the Minhagim of the Chasam Sofer, that when the Kohanim go up onto the bima, that taka you should go right connected them, go up to the bima, not the bima when they go up to the ark or the duchan, wherever they are. You should go right in front of them, panim connected panim, and that there's it says that the front row connected them is the spitz, is the best place to be, is the front row, because then you're taka panim connected panim. And if you're at the back of shul, ein achinami, you're in the bracha, but you're not makayim in this idea of panim connected panim. There have been in shuls where people go davka to the ark, to the duchen there, and taka go right in front of the kohanim.
This is also where they get out, like if you're behind them, right?
No,
it's
that's
like the seats, and you have to move forward so that you're in front of them.
No.
Oh,
That's a separate sugya.
Gotcha.
Amor lehem ka'adam amor lehem tani idach kol tivrachu b'kol ram. So you have to say it. What's b'kol ram? In a loud voice. It's seemingly the what b'kol ram means. Harena ela balachash, or maybe it's only quietly. So Pashas in the Gemara here is that B'kol Ram just means not balachash. It doesn't mean a loud voice. And if you have a look at the Torah, the Yerushalmi brings the Yerushalmi, B'kol Ram, B'kolo shel Ram, Melama Shekorosh Baruch Hu, Mishtama Kolo Imahim. So you can hear Hashem's voice in it. So B'kol Ram is B'kolo shel Ram, that God's voice. So Ram here doesn't mean you have to shout at people. It means Eina Ela Balachash is not quietly. A Toisvis Eina Ela Balachash. Tema Lari Amai Lo Nafkala Mi Nemi Gezer Shava de Berchus Mehar Gerazim. So we had this whole daf. We had the Har Gerazim. Malahalam B'kol Ram Avkam B'kol Ram. So we have a look at the posuk here. Va'onu Haleviim Va'omru Eskolish Yisrael Kol Ram. The Levi shall speak, saying every individual in a loud voice. So here's the Orach H. So we had this in whatever last week's parsha. So here, Kol Ram, we have it in the curses. So therefore, we should know it from there. Umatzinu lemor de lo itzrech ela lari. That's Rabbi Yehuda de lo yalef lemegzer shava ela mikol. So at the beginning, we had that Rabbi Yehuda didn't hold of the gezer shava. We had that in the Einot Zorech. So the Einot Zorech and the Tosis at the top was talking about Val Rabbanan lo mashalahu ikvel ko ela kacha. So kol tivrachus we had here. So Rabbi Yehuda Einot Zorech harihu omer ko. Now some say Einot Zorech means I just don't need the gezer shava here with ko, but where it doesn't say ko, I do need the gezer shava. In which case we lose Tosis's whole question and answer. If everyone has the gezer shava. Now, I have seen people say here, if I learned it from Har Gezirim, I would learn Kol Ram means to shout at people. And shouting at people, that's not what it means here. Kol Ram is not shouting at people, it just means not balachash. And then they said, well,
it's loud enough that they can hear, like loud enough that everyone can hear.
Exactly. Yeah. So there you say that there the taka had to be loud at Har Gezirim because you're shouting at 600,000 people from far away. So everyone has to hear it. So to hear, you have it. Now, the Mishnah Berurah says, like, if you have a hoarse voice and you can't say it loud, so it's miyakev, you doing Birkas Kohanim. So getting back to our B'lashon HaKodesh, Ramida, B'nisizakama, B'kol Ram. Now, so here,
so if you're the only Kohen, you have a hoarse voice. So here,
the Mishnah Berurah, is saying, the Kol Ram, if you don't have a Kol Ram, you can't do Birkas Kohanim. So if you have a case where you can say it, but let's say 10 people can hear you, but the rest of the shul can't hear you. So is that called Kol Ram or not? I would say in the the Pashas of the Gemara, it's not balachash, because lachash means that these people have to hear you. Or if people, let's say everybody in the shul, if they come close enough, so then they'll be able to hear the Birkus Kohanim. So then is that going to be good enough? Again, it seems to be the Mishnah Berurah seems to be quite machmir, and just says if you have any postul, you can't do birkus kohanim. But again, this would be a chumrah that leads to a kula where people who could do birkus kohanim are not doing birkus kohanim. So you could have no birkus kohanim in a shul because he's being machmir and saying no, no one can do it because you can't sit down. And again, we saw the machlokas there, all these type of things. You can't do it at night, all these type of things. So seemingly, but lo balachash is really what kol ram means. You don't need a kol ram. You just need everyone to hear you. And I would say for sure, if a guy sitting in the back of shul, he can't hear you. And if he was to come to the bima and hear you, so then I would say that'd be fine. And also, ka'adam sha'omer lechaveru. If I'm talking to you in a room and you go to the back of the room, like, that's not how you speak to people. Obviously, if it's a packed place or whatever, where you have, if you're on the bus, there's just the two of you on the bus, and you're like, well, I'll go to the front seat, and you go to the back seat, and then we'll shout at each other. Like, that's not how people talk to each other. Amar Abaye, Naktinen, we have a Messiah. L'shnaim korin kaire kahanim, v'la'achad eno kaire kohen. So Rashi, l'shnaim korim kohen. K'shiyesham shnei kohanim. When there's two kohanim to bless, the shaliach etzibor, k'shagama birchas hahoida. So when he finishes moedim, he's kaira oitan kohanim. They say kohanim v'hen hofchu b'neihem shahayu choyfen letzad hateva, because they're facing the ark, and they start turning around and facing the people to pray. Daha amrinan lekaman yihirot samil fanech shetei bracha zu. So they were saying that bracha when they were facing the ark, and then the shliach tzibur. So now here the shliach tzibur says kohanim. Okay, now Tosfos in a different Masechta says that the shliach tzibur does not say kohanim because that's a hefsek in his tefillah. And the Shulchan Aruch goes like Rashi, and the Ramah kind of brings up this idea of Tosfos. But just be clear, Rashi says that the shliach tzibur says kohanim, but the chayr, that's a hefsek in the tefillah. Now, so therefore, to two people, then the shliach tzibur says kohanim, and to one he doesn't say kohen. Now the Beis Yosef doesn't have the girsa of kohen here, and he just have Abaye, and to one you don't say. At least misupak, if it's just you don't say kohanim, but you do say kohen. But you see that shita in Tosfos. So where does Abaye get this from? Shenem or Amor Lahem Lishnaim. Now this is difficult because we said Amor Lahem many times is that the Kohanim will say to Bnei
Israel.
The Bnei Israel Yivarechacha. Because the next post is Yivarecha Amor Lahem Yivarechacha. So what's Amor Lahem? That the Shliach Tzibur will then say. So now we have to kind of relearn this pasuk here, speaking to Aaron and his children, saying, "This is how you will bless the Bnei Israel when the Shaliach Tzibur says to you, Kohanim Yivarechecha." I guess Amor Lehem will continue into Yivarechecha. I don't know. That's it. So it's a bit of a doichik there. So what comes out now, according to our new understanding of the pasuk, the Amor Lehem is talking the Torah talking to the Shaliach Tzibur. So therefore, for Rashi, who says that it's a Shliach Tzibur Davka who says Kohanim. So therefore, the Shliach Tzibur, he's the one. So that then Tosfos is saying it's a hefsek. So here we say that it's not a hefsek because the Torah Taka says Amor Lahem, just like Yivarechecha and all these other things. This is what the Torah is giving the Gezeres HaKosov, that now this is part of Tefillah. So therefore, it's not a hefsek. That would have a teretz for Rashi. Now, according to this, Abaye seemingly comes out that Birkas Kohanim is only with two, and this becomes a machlokas. Now, here in the Beis Yosef, he says that the Torah says by one person. So Rabbeinu Gadol, the Tama on the Divrei Rabbeinu, which is the Torah, that says that the Shapirish Amar Lahem L'Kol Echad Mehem. What does Amar Lahem? It says to every one of them. Amar Lahem is Aaron and his children, so therefore say to all of them. So therefore, there's a specific bracha on every Kohen, and therefore you should have it on every Kohen. So you see in Sota, Amar Abaye. So this is the kasha on the Torah. Naktin l'shnaim kore kahanim le'echad ena kore So therefore, one you don't kaira. So my time amor lehem l'shnayim. So the tirutz. This is the tirutz then of the avuav. Afokav. Is the kasha clear on the Torah? How can the Torah say one when Abai is saying two?
That's
so darshin and haki. This is the drasha b'gamor mikol mokum. Lo nafakro mi mashmuta to lehem alarnu u benav. So there's a drasha that Abaye is bringing out here at the kair lehem. But even so, but the it doesn't take the pasuk out of its pasuk pshat ubanev cross. Therefore, the Torah is going according to the pasuk pshat there that Amor Lahem is speaking to say to Aaron and his children, and therefore this is just a drasha, and therefore it's not a saying that two people, to one person, there is not the mitzvah of Kohana. So it's a machlokus here based on this Abaye as to whether it's a machlokus or not. So Amar Rav Chisda, Naktina, we have a Messiah, the Kohen Kaira Kohanim, V'Yisrael Kaira Kohanim, Shenem or Omer Lehen. So Amura Mishlen. So Amor means somebody who's not a Kohen says to them someone who is a Kohen. So Amor Lechud and Lehem Lechud. So Amira Mishlehem Tihia will be from then to Yev Hilchas Kavasid Abaye V'Lis Hilchas Kavasid to Rav Chisda. So we're not like Rav Chisda. So again, Rav Chisda is saying that the Kohen says Kohanim. Ben Yisrael says Ve'ein Yisrael Kaira Kohanim. Right. It was kind of the opposite of what I was saying. So here, so the Kohen calls Kohanim. It says Amor Lehem, that a Kohen says to other Kohanim. So right. Amira is Mishalehem. So therefore,
but that's not what we do. We have a Yisrael who's calling out as Kohanim.
The Ein Yisrael Korah Kohanim. But if you're Yisrael, you can't say Kohanim. So what says here, the Pasha says the Hilchas Kavasida Abaye, the Leis Halacha Kavasida Rav Chisda. We don't hold of this Rav Chisda and the little aleph there.
That's a halacha note.
Kind of fits in there. Now Tosis Hilashtaim Kaira Kohanim. Yerushalmi here is Perak Ein Oimdim Amar Rav Chisda. Again, this is the Rav Chisda here. Tzarech Shia Chazin Yisrael, which kind of fits in, so that the Chazan is Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak Omer Im Haya Kohen Echad Omer Kohen Shnaim Omer Kohanim. So now this is what the Beis Yosef was misupak. If you take out this word Kohen, where Abai says V'lo and to one Eina Kaira L'Chaira Kohanim. So maybe you say Kohen and maybe you say Kohanim. So Le'echad Eino Kaira Kohanim. But maybe you do say Kohen was the suffix of the Beis Yosef. So but here Rav Yitzchak says Im Haya Kohen Echad Omer Kohen. If there's one you say Kohen, Shnayim you say Kohanim. So Amar Rav Chisda Afilu Kohen Kaira Kohanim She'ein Kaira Kohanim Eila L'Ota HaShevet. So here Rav Chisda this Rav Chisda is going like the Gemara here. So he's saying that because of the Bavli is arguing here, but this Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak is not like the Abaye here, and the Rav Chisda is you also learn that Rav Chisda. See, Rav Chisda is also choylek on Abaye and Shtaim. So Filu Kohen Kaira Kohanim. So Abai says not like that. So Rav Chisda is choylek on him at for the Kohanim, Ve'en Yisrael Korah Kohanim, and here Rav Chisda even Kohen Korah. So he's choylek in too.